So you bought your coconut wax and you're testing it out, but you're not getting any hot throw. This video is for you. Hello everyone, if you're new here, I'm Alan with Earthglow, and on this channel I share tips and tricks on how to make quality candles coming from someone with a background in chemistry. I also share the behind the scenes of my small business, Earthglow, and we just have fun. So if you're new, subscribe. It's totally free, and tap the little bell in the corner and I'll notify you each time I post a new video so that you don't miss out. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about my top 5 tips to get a strong hot throw with coconut wax. And I tried to make them general enough so that they would go with a number of different coconut waxes. And I am someone who personally has worked with a lot of coconut waxes in my candle making career. One of the main waxes I used is a coconut apricot. And I also have my own custom blend that includes a lot of coconut wax along with 2 other waxes, but it's a coconut soy and beeswax blend. So I have a fair amount of knowledge on coconut wax myself from my own experience, as well as from talking with a number of suppliers and other candle makers. With most coconut waxes, you're gonna wanna heat them to above 200 degrees in Fahrenheit. And that is because this wax requires a higher temperature for the fragrance to basically bind to the wax. So the wax has to be heated to a higher temperature in order for those wax molecules to fully expand so that they can bind properly to the fragrance molecules. And obviously, going right along with this tip, you wanna make sure that you're stirring. I stir most waxes for a good minute. Some of them for 2 minutes, especially if I'm struggling with hot throw. It's definitely not gonna hurt to stir a little bit longer, but it can hurt if you don't stir long enough. Tip number 2, your wick series and wick size matters. Now, coconut wax in general requires pretty small wicks. So you want wicks that are going to burn at a cooler temperature, but not too cool, not quite as cool as like a paraffin. But you're gonna want wicks that are gonna burn cooler than they would for most soy waxes and beeswaxes. So I recommend the CDN series. I use this wick series for most all of the candles that I do make, except for 6006. That is an exception because it's a 70% paraffin. I use some different wicks for that one. So that's kind of what I recommend starting your wick testing with. And obviously, if your container is gonna be more than 3 inches in diameter, so the distance across that container, you are gonna want to more than likely multi-wick, which will bring us into the next point. I've said before in previous videos that the work that 2 people can do is always greater than the work that 1 person can do alone. The same goes true for candles. Using 2 smaller wicks almost always works better than 1 larger wick. And so if you're looking to get a stronger hot throw, a lot of the time what experienced makers aren't telling you that they're doing is using multiple wicks. They're using multiple smaller wicks rather than 1 larger wick. It is a little bit more work to kind of place 2 wicks. There's a number of great wick centering tools out there to help you do this. I like using Norden Candle Supply. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with them, but they make candle wick, like the wick stabilization and wick placement tools for almost any container. And if they don't have the container on file, you can just reach out to them and they will basically have you send in your container and they will for free make like a prototype out of your container, and then you'll, I think, also get like a 15% discount. So I don't know exactly how that works. I did do it though with them like 5 or 6 months ago, and it was a super easy process and just really cool that you can literally get wick stabilization tools no matter what container you have. But that's what I would recommend doing, is multi-wicking. Most experienced makers are doing this and they're not telling you about it. Keep the container size and the room size in mind. So if you're gonna burn like a little jelly jar type of a candle, you're gonna wanna burn that in a bathroom or a small closed room. If you're trying to do your testing with a container like this in an open area of your house, don't expect to really smell it. That fragrance is really just gonna diffuse, particularly if you have high ceilings. It's just going to go upward and diffuse into your space, and you need a container with a wider melt pool in order to really be smelling that hot throw in a large open area of your home. And my last tip is cure time. Typically with coconut waxes, you wanna give them a solid 5 days to fully solidify and cure. Now, most natural waxes are recommended to have like 1 to 2 weeks. I would say coconut wax is going to be on the lower end of that. I think 5 days is absolutely sufficient, like for test burning purposes, but you'll probably even be able to kick your hot throw up a notch if you waited a full week or two. But give it a good 5 days after you've made that test candle before you burn in order to assess your hot throw. Now, if you've tried all these tips and you're still having trouble, check out the link below to my Patreon, where I do offer one-on-one support. And I not only share all my formulas, but I do offer one-on-one support where you can just send me a direct message and I will reply back to your candle making questions within 24 hours. A number of our patrons do that, and I go back and forth with them and kind of help them troubleshoot. I really actually enjoy doing that, as strange as that may sound. You'll find that most experienced candle makers really enjoy the testing and troubleshooting process. But yeah, definitely check that out. I'd be glad to try to help you further, and leave a comment below as well, and I will also try to reply back to as many of those as I can. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me, and it helps my channel to kind of get pushed out more in the algorithm so that it can reach more candle makers who need this information like you. Sending all of you peace, love, and light, and I'm wishing all of you happy candle making.